everyone, welcome back to Horror Mystery Rewind. Today we will talk about the horror movie Death Note. Please click on the closed caption for subtitles. Spoilers ahead, enjoy and take care of yourself.
A boy named Light is shown in the beginning of the film. At that time, Light was at his school. Suddenly the weather began to change. Winds began to blow, and a notebook fell on the ground from the sky. Light finds that notebook and he examines it and he keeps it in his possession. Here it is revealed that this was not an ordinary notebook but a mysterious ancient notebook. It began to rain and Light tried to go inside. He saw a bullying student at the school is teasing another kid and Light tries to forbid him to do as such. The bully boy punches Light in return and falls on the ground along with his bag. Light discovers the home assignments of other students from Light's bag. Here the secret of Light is revealed that he helps the other students in their home assignments. Light was sent to the principal because of the fight and was kept in an isolated room as a punishment. Sitting in isolation, he recalls that ancient notebook. Then he begins to read that book. It was not a normal notebook and there were some statements of rules were mentioned. There were also rules and regulations to keep this notebook. This notebook belongs to the centuries ago. Light feels awkward getting this notebook. Then something mysterious started to happen when he was examining this notebook. Light observes a weird creature there which was not a human being but seemed something else. It was giving a heinous and devilish look, having the cactus-like body surface. Light is scared too much, witnessing him. However, he understands everything later that he is not any creature, but a dead spirit, and this dead spirit is the owner of this notebook. Dead Spirit explains Light about the reality of this notebook and what it can do. There were some specific notes in this book which have been called Death Notes and the keeper of this book is the owner of this notebook. Since Light has the book now, he was the owner of this. He also explains the fact of this notebook that the written name of any person on its death note will soon die. The owner of the notebook can kill anyone according to his liking. Also Light can write any way of killing in the notebook. Once he has the name, then the victim will die according to the written statement. But the owner will have to follow some of the rules for doing so. Light does not trust in it right now. Dead spirit with the book is visible before that person who is the owner of the notebook at that time. Dead spirit tells Light, you have to write at least a name in the notebook within 7 days. This notebook will be owned by another person if he does not write the name of anyone or disobeys any rule. The condition to write the name of anyone in a notebook is that the owner must have the face in mind and the real name of that person, and only one way of death will be written which exists in reality. Dead Spirit says to Light, you must use and follow the rules of this notebook. Then Light looks at that bullying boy through the room window who is also teasing someone at that time, and he had also hit Light. Being agreed with Dead Spirit, Light writes down the name of that boy in the notebook. He writes the way of death for that boy as his head will be crushed. Then the sight outside is shown which changes immediately. The two cars collided with each other. While one car had the iron ladders in it with which that boy's head was crushed in reality. Everyone along with Light is left shocked, witnessing it. Seeing this, Light had started to believe that the told facts by Dead Spirit were actually right. This makes Light very terrified. Dead Spirit tells Light that you can do many things with the help of this book, or I can give the ownership of this notebook to another one if you don't want to have this notebook. Afterwards, Light returns to his house. Light's father is seen in the house who was a detective. It is also revealed that a criminal had killed Light's mother a few years ago. But that criminal escaped and was free because of no evidence. Hence, there was not good association between father and son due to this. Light is angered with his father saying, you are not avenging my mother. Light and he is upset because his mom's killer is free. Then Light got an idea that he could write the name of that criminal in the death note and he did the same. He writes down the name of the criminal in the death note. Then the same criminal is shown who was celebrating a party with his friends. All of a sudden, he is dead in front of everyone. The father and son are satisfied now after hearing the death news of that criminal. Light was able to avenge his mother, and the relationship between both father and son also improved. Then Light thought, how could he use the notebook's magic for a good purpose? Light was thinking about it, sitting at the school. Then a girl named Mia came to him. Mia is the close friend of Light, so he reveals his secret to her that he has found a mysterious book and he can kill any person whose name is written in it. But Mia does not trust it. Light shows the Mia demonstration to prove it. Where a killer arrives on the scene. Light writes down about the killer in Death Note, as he will be dead when a car crashes with him. It happens the same because Light knew the real name and face of that killer in his mind. Mia is left surprised after witnessing it. They thought they could kill any evil person with the help of this book and help humanity. Evilest people include criminals, murderers, and such threatening people. For doing so, the face and the real name could easily be explored through the internet. They started to put the evil people's names in the list and the evil ones began to meet their fate gradually. Here it is also revealed that the notebook's owner can hold sway over the dying person. Light had chosen a pseudo-name for himself which was Kira. And Light used to write the name Kira whenever someone died. So, the evilest people may leave doing the wrong deed after being terrorized by this name and thinking Kira has arrived to end all criminals and evilest people. In the beginning itself, this news went viral throughout the world. That a serial killer Kira has come who is continuing to kill everyone. Also, some people were favoring Kira as in this way, the evilest people will be rooted out from the world. But he was actually a killer, so police wanted to search for him. It was difficult to find Light because there was no proof against him. Then this case is given to an intelligence investigator to investigate. That very intelligent investigator went by the name of L. He used to wear a mask over his face, and nobody knew what his real name was. Light and Mia had very satisfying lives. They had murdered over 400 people. In a meeting, L admits, Kira, make your identity known to everyone. Being a smart person, L looks into the case's history. Since Light's father was a detective, L also accepts his company and for them to go to Kira as quickly as feasible. Light and Mia are displeased because they hadn't considered that it will be a plan now to get them arrested since they were still relaxed. But L's arrival had increased their anxiety. What will be the punishment for Kira if he is caught? Light queries his father. According to Light's father, Kira will be demanded to be executed by 50% of the populace, while the other half of the population will be compelled to investigate how he achieved it. Light becomes more anxious because of realizing it. He also tells Mia that we should stop it right away as many people, including Light, were being held under suspicion by L because he was able to access his father's info. As a result, L assigns an agent the task of locating Light, so that he could monitor Light's activities. Knowing this, Light maintains his composure. Mia regrets discovering Light's lack of interest in her notebook mostly because Mia enjoyed doing it. The letter L had turned into a barrier in the way of Light and Mia. Despite their best efforts, they are unable to kill him since they had never seen his face and were unaware of his genuine name. Additionally, it was the rule in the notebook. Over it, Light and Mia are conveying that in this notebook, each agent's name who is looking for Kira should be noted. As a result, Kira might frighten other agents, and they unwillingly had to end this case. Mia suggested, however Light was unwilling to follow through because he was not willing to take the life of innocent people. So Mia has to agree with Light. Contrarily, L also comes to know that Kira has victimized those people who have been shown on TV and Kira cannot victimize those whose face and name are unrevealed before him. To avoid the suspicion, Light decides that he will not kill people for some days. All the agents suddenly commit suicide by jumping off the building, causing an incident. Who were the investigators in this case looking for Kira? These names weren't the work of Light. Who was the author of their names? The issue has gotten worse here. Because Kira was killing only the criminal people till now. He was being hailed as a hero. However, he had already murdered police officers and he consequently became a danger who can kill anyone. This occurrence has caused Light to experience anxiety, asking that Dead Spirit, have you done it? Then Dead Spirit reveals that anyone else may have penned these names because I am incapable of doing it myself. In a seminar, Light's father challenges Kira, stop murdering the helpless. Kill me if you have courage. Come before everyone. This news was being watched by Mia and Light. Mia and Light were watching the news as it broke. He hears Mia yell at him with anger. Put your father's name down in that notebook. He addresses Mia, how can I murder my dad? Are you crazy? L was handling this situation more shrewdly. He checks to see if Kira will kill Light's father. But it doesn't take place. Light's father is still alive, thus, Alice's mistrust in Light is transformed into belief because Light's father is taking on this case as a detective, but it doesn't become the Kira's victim. Kira is therefore Light and not anyone else. So, at night, Elle encounters Light. He tries to find out from him that you are Kira. Inquiring about Light, Elle also makes his face visible. He says, "Stop doing it now." Light leaves, overlooking him. Now the sword of Damocles hangs over his head. He could not kill Elle despite his wish. Mia says to Elle, "I had a great affection for you, and we should do something to avoid this trouble." Light thinks a lot to keep Elle out of his way. He says, "I have seen the face of Elle. And Elle's real name will surely be known by his friend." Light writes down the name of Elle's friend in that notebook to get the control of him. Now the notebook's one more rule is revealed here. That person will be secured, getting no harm if the owner burns the person's name page. But Dead Spirit reveals to Light that it will be done only for once. Now Elle's friend was under the control of Light. But he was also unaware about the real name of Elle. Light orders him if he knows about the real name of Elle. Elle's friend says, Elle used to visit an academy, it is possible that his documents may have his real name. So Light asks him to visit the academy right away. Elle's friend executes the directive and enters the academy. Knowing Elle's real name, Light planned to burn the paper on which Elle's friend's name is written. He will also be protected. And everything will proceed according to plan. But Elle is thought to be his friend's missing person. He is aware of the entire tale, even how Light took him to reveal his real name to him. Think of this: Elle unexpectedly visits Light's home and he informs Light's father that his son really is Kira. He is the one who has taken his friend. But Light wasn't under suspicion at the time as there was no proof against him. Elle finds nothing in their house while discovering it, nor that ancient notebook. Because Mia had taken it away with her. Then Light receives the call from Elle's friend who says, "I have reached the academy." And he had little time. Elle's friend is nearly to reveal the name. Then Light checks, there is not the page of name but has disappeared when he is going to burn it. So Elle's friend is dead before telling the name. Light is disheartened on it. Then Mia reveals the secret in a dance party that, "I have torn the name page of Elle's friend. Moreover, I had also written the name of the agents in that notebook." She says, "I have also written your name in that notebook now. And the way of Light's death is this, his heartbeat will stop working at midnight, leaving him dead." She says, "I will burn the page of your name if you hand over this notebook to me." It means Mia flirts with him to gain that book. Knowing about the death of his friend, Elle struggles hard to arrest Light. Elle finally connects with Light. However, Elle declares to a nearby cook, "He is Kira. Help me in getting him." However, that cook eliminates Elle because he was Kira's protector. Elle also takes Mia with him while running. They then enter the swing and are caught in the air. Police arrive there in the interim. Light informs Mia, "If you love me, you won't open this notepad. Together, we shall restore everything to its proper state." Mia disagrees with him because she is greedy. She takes the journal from Light. When Mia looks at it, Light tells her, "You have harmed it at all." When Mia hears it, she realizes that Light has her name in this journal. Their names were on the pages of the notebook, so both immediately fell. Mia is dead at the spot but Light falls into the water. Then Light is shown in the hospital who had gone into a coma. Meanwhile, more criminals are also dead. People notice that Elle had a suspicion on Light who has gone into a coma. And people are still dying. Then it is seen that a page is separated from that notebook when Mia and Elle were falling from the swing. And it is burnt. And that page had a written name Light. Light had acted wisely. As when he knew that Mia had written his name in the notebook, then he wrote in the book, "Mia will be dead if she brings back that notebook from him, and the page which has the name of Light will be burnt and Light will fall into the water." He had also written the names of the evilest persons in the book. A corrupt doctor makes Light deeply unconscious, bringing him out of the water. Later, the same doctor commits suicide. Then another man takes that notebook. He writes many evil people in that notebook. Afterwards, that man brings that notebook to Light who had come out of the coma. After this, Elle is terminated but he discovers Mia's house for the last time. And he gets the name of dead police officers. So all allegations are put on Mia. Light had also fully recovered and had acquired the notebook. However, he had learned a lesson and will not again put his trust in anyone. Additionally, this scene marks the end of the film.
If you like the video, subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and click on like to help the channel out. Thank you and take care.